straight road wins for the Dallas Cowboys as they hit the road again this week and take on the New York Giants with an opportunity to wrap up the NFC East as we welcome you in to a Week 15 edition of Special Edition from the Star in Frisco. Alongside three former Cowboys, Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. And the Cowboys are 9-4 up on top of the division by 3 games with 4 to play after a win over the Washington football team, 27-20. It wasn't pretty down the stretch for the Cowboys, but Isaiah, does the fact that they lead this division by this much of a margin make you more comfortable or maybe not so comfortable the way that they won that game against Washington?
When we're speaking in regards to the NFC East, I'm comfortable. When we're speaking in regards to the entirety of the NFC, as we project and start looking forward towards the playoffs, I have zero sense of confidence in the way in which we won this ball game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, did the win make me feel better? Not exactly, but a win in December is a win in December, and I will take that going forward. And we have a 3-game division lead, so we need to fix up some things, but a win is a win, and I'll take it.
Yeah, we got a few rough spots there in this last game, but, I'm feeling good. We're 9-4. We got the 4th spot locked up. All we got to do is continue to win and just improve on a few things, and they should be okay.
Well, let's talk about some of the positives, and that's the fact that the defense has pretty much won you back-to-back games on the road, once in New Orleans and now in Washington. Defense showed out, allowed just 14 points. 20 of those, or another one of those, to get to 20 for Washington was on the defensive side of their end. So when you look at this defense, Isaiah, how far can they take you the way they've been playing?
I think that they're a foe to be worried, obviously be worried about. All the offenses that we're going to face going forward, I think we match up well against them. I think Dan Quinn is getting more familiarized with his guys on the defensive front and the secondary level. I think that these guys are getting used to playing together and they're excited. Can they win you ball games as we go down the stretch? In the regular season, yes. Playoffs, you got to score points.
You got to score points. And look, this defense last week was fantastic. Whether it was Parsons, D-Law, Gregory, everybody on the defensive line was able to get pressure on Heineke and make his job hard. And the secondary played solid. They had sticky coverage the entire game. Diggs was matched up against McLaurin, held him to 0 catches on 3 targets. So to me, that's the type of defense you want to see as the last couple weeks of this regular season start to unfold.
Now you got these guys that are back, Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence, Gallimore. You don't have to worry about it because the other guys are backup players. And so we can insert these guys when we need to insert them. But we got studs now. We got playmakers, and playmakers can help you win championships, like get you to the point where you can get to a championship.
Now, on the offensive side of the football, things did not go as well for the Cowboys as they really struggled to get off the ground again. Isaiah, quickly here, what do you think this offense can be fixed, and do you feel like it can be fixed by the end of the regular season?
It has to, and it has to. Every position group has to take a look at themselves. Kellen Moore has to take a look at himself and say how is his play calling affecting their ability to be successful. Third down efficiency has to improve. Every aspect of this offense needs to take a step up, and that starts this week.
Yeah, this offense has been stagnant as of late, but what's alarming to me and what's worrisome about me is their red zone efficiency. Last week they were 1-6 in the red zone, and over the past 4 games they're 4-14. And so to me, you can't beat good teams, you can't beat playoff teams putting up those type of numbers in the red zone. They're going to have to get better if they want to take a long run in this playoffs.
Now, before we get into the rest of the week, let's talk about Tyron Smith and the fact that he is not available, re-injured an ankle injury he had been dealing with for a little portion of the season. Missed 3 games prior to working his way back 2 weeks ago, but now he is out at least this week, and the Cowboys are hopeful that it's not an extended period of time for Tyron Smith as the left tackle spot continues to be a question mark on that offensive line. But who is to blame for the offensive struggles that we've been talking about? When we come back here on Special Edition, we break down Dak Prescott, the run game, the offensive line. How do the Cowboys fix it on Special Edition?
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by Ford. Built for Texas, built for you. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Salvation Army, doing the most good. And by AT&T. This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the new Gym 7 scratch tickets. There's a Gym 7 scratch ticket for everyone, so play today.
Who is to blame for the Cowboys' offensive struggles over the last couple of weeks? Is it the passing game? Is it the offensive line? Is it the run game? Back here on Special Edition with Isaiah Stanback. And Isaiah, I leave that question to you, and we're going to break it down. What is wrong with this offense, and how could it get fixed pretty quickly?
Well, this is something we have to address, and everybody's trying to figure out exactly where to place the blame. Is it Dak? Is it the offensive line? Is it our receivers dropping the ball? Everybody has a part in it, okay? You win together, you lose together, and this is how we have to fix things. We're going to take you all the way back to when we played against New England Patriots. One of the most successful showings as an offense. Dak had over 400 yards passing, and they had a victory in overtime. This offense is still revolved around the running game. I don't care how many receivers we have, we still have to be able to run the ball effectively, and I want you guys to see this played out right here against the Patriots. Let's go ahead and run it through. You guys are going to see a man on a man. Right here, boom, go ahead and pause that for me. You have them right here. Smith taking care of business, okay? We got Connor Bro working up to the next level, okay? We have Tyler Biotis getting a reach. You got Martin working up to the next level. Everybody gets a man on the hat, and we had a healthy Zeke. Zeke sees a hole. He hits the hole. There's the burst that we're used to seeing, and because of that, we have a nice, effective run. That's a first down. Let's go ahead and take a look at it from the other angle so you guys can see exactly everybody's assignments. Look at this dig out right here by Tyron. He does a great job of kicking out wise. Connor Williams is locked and loaded, coming up to Hightower. We're getting a reach block right here, and we got Martin coming all the way up to the second level. This is what we have to do to be effective in the running game and give Zeke the confidence and the lanes to be able to hit these things, and we can continue to move the chains on the ground.
And it's a good way to open up the passing game as they did so in that same game.
And because this offense is revolved around a running game, it allows for us to be able to bring these guys now down into the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 defenders in the box. That is called respect. They are trying to stop the run, and when you have that respect of your defense, of the defense that you're playing against, it allows for you to have these big plays with guys like this. Okay, we're going to see this play right here. Unfortunately, this is the play that Dak had the calf strain, but fortunately, this is the play that we won the ball game on. He gets out the pocket, sees him, throws a dime all the way down here to my guy, CeeDee Lamb, one-on-one matchup. That's the type of matchup that you're going to have whenever you have a respectable run game.
Now, when you don't have a respectable run game, what can go wrong for an offense?
All bad. We're just going to play this one straight through, okay?
All bad.
All bad. You see it right here. Corey Clements right here coming in, and he's going to try to run this ball. Look at the line of scrimmage right here. There is no push at all by this offensive line. We have 3 guys coming to the backfield. Wow. 1, 2, 3, hitting him 2 yards in the backfield. That is the lack of running, and we're going to see on this next play what happens when you don't have a running game. Right here, now that you guys see it, okay, there's again, how many guys we have in the box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Everybody else, see their reaction time. They don't have it, okay? So you guys see it. Eyes are not in the backfield. These guys are dropping out into coverage. And because you don't have a running game, now you have more guys in passing lanes, which is going to force Dak to get out the pocket whenever he sees pressure. And now look at his decision making. Throwing the ball under duress, in pressure, not accurate, opportunity for turnovers. Those balls became incomplete. The balls that we're seeing now are starting to turn into interceptions.
And you've seen Dak Prescott make throws like that on the run, but that's an every play sort of problem that this Cowboys offense is having. So it's not all on Dak Prescott. It's a little on the offensive line and on the run game as well. Now, how does the Giants' run game stack up against a surging Cowboys defense? Can Saquon Barkley and company have some success on Sunday?
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. This segment is brought to you by Ford. Built for Texas, built for you.
Entering Week 15, the Cowboys have their first repeat meeting with an NFC East divisional foe. They beat the Giants the first time around 44-20 back in Week 5 at AT&T Stadium. And as we welcome you back in to Special Edition, we take a deeper look at this New York Giants team. It's much different 10 weeks down the road than it looked back in Week 5. No Daniel Jones. Mike Glennon is expected to be the starter at the quarterback position. He has just basically been a middle-of-the-road backup throughout his career in the NFL. But there is a threat, and that is Saquon Barkley. Big number 26 in the backfield. Isaiah, where does he, or how is he special on that offensive side?
He's a jack of all trades. He can do absolutely everything. You line him up in the backfield, he's a threat. He reminds me of Barry Sanders in terms of his skill set. And then he can wide out, go out at the receiver position just like he did last week, run a sluggo and win on a touchdown against your cornerbacks. He's an absolute beast, and he's looking forward to playing against Dallas again because last time he got injured early on in the game.
Yeah, Saquon is definitely a beast, but I'm going to have to be honest. Until New York fixes that offensive line up there, I don't care who they put in the backfield, they'll be a non-factor out there, especially with this revamped Dallas defensive line. I can see them making things extremely hard for Saquon Barkley and this New York Giants rushing attack.
And that's where it begins and ends with Saquon Barkley. He's all everything right now. Like you said, no quarterback, no wide receivers that you can just really put your hand on. Tight end is okay, but he's a little bit banged up, and that's every year. So if we can just shut that one guy down, drugstore Cowboys, we going, man.
He was shut down in Week 5 because of what Isaiah mentioned. He left the game with an injury. Only had 2 carries for 9 yards in that opening matchup against the Cowboys. Kadarius Toney was not so shut down. He had 189 yards against the Cowboys. All other receivers had just 105, but Kadarius Toney not available this week for the Giants. So where does the production come from on the outside, Isaiah?
You got Galladay and you got Ingram. Those are the 2 threats that you have to worry about. But again, with this defensive line playing the way they are, hopefully, Glennon doesn't have the time to sit back and throw the ball to his receivers like he did last time.
Yeah, you got Galladay, who's a big physical wide receiver. Sterling Shepard's one of the better slot receivers in the National Football League. But I'm not so sure either of these wide receivers can consistently beat man-to-man coverage. And with the pressure that this Cowboys front 7 can provide, I'm not so sure Mike Glennon will have the time to throw it to these guys either. So to me, I think this defense matches up well against this New York offense passing attack.
I think with the little guy like a Sterling Shepard and Toney, who's not in, those are the guys that give us problems. Diggs can handle the big guys. They do all right against that right there. So we should be able to put some pressure on them and take that away. It's going to come down to Ingram. Tight ends always give us a little bit of problem. So if Ingram is not doing his thing, we're farewell this week.
Now, Barry, tell me about what the Giants bring from a defensive standpoint as well. And can this Dallas offense get back on track? Is this exactly what they needed?
I think this is exactly what they needed. I know this offense has been stagnant of late, and Dak Prescott has been wildly inconsistent. But if there's any team out there that you can build your confidence against, I think it's the New York Giants. So I expect this offense to go out there and have a big day, especially going against the Giants.
They had a season-high 44 points in that opening meeting. They had 300 passing yards, 200 rushing yards. So if this is the week to do it, this is going to be the week to do it against the New York Giants. When we come back, we hear about Stephen Jones and some updates on Tony Pollard, his thoughts on the offense, and so much more.
This segment was brought to you by Ford. Built for Texas, built for you. This segment is brought to you by AT&T.
Back here from the Star in Frisco, and it's time to go more in-depth with the Dallas Cowboys as we enter Week 15 of the NFL season. No better person to do that with than Cowboys COO Stephen Jones. And Stephen, first off, thanks for joining us again. And you have to be a pretty happy person. 9 wins, just the 4 losses. You got a chance for double-digit wins, but the reason why is because you've had a couple on the road the last couple weeks.
Well, these were big wins, and I know some people say we could have had better style points, but it's so hard to win in this league. And, they pay their players too, and to go on the road like that, as you said, in tough environments, whether it's the Saints or the Redskins, and come away with big wins is a big deal. And, at the end of the day, the defense is really coming into its own. We're getting healthy on that side of the ball, getting guys like Randy Gregory back, DeMarcus Lawrence, Neville Gallimore are some big get-backs for us. And at the same time, I know, although we're not totally hitting on all cylinders on offense, if ever I was going to bet on a crew, it'd be Dak and his group of offensive guys. And, everybody wants to point to this guy or that guy. At the end of the day, having a good offense is about all 11 working together. And it's impossible to say, hey, it's all on this guy or that guy. We've just got to work better as a unit, and I think that'll come together as well. But it's certainly big to be where we are at 9-4, 3 games in front of the pack, if you will, with 4 to play. But, we got our eyes on bigger things in terms of just winning the East. We've got work to do to win the East, but at the same time, we all know what it could mean if we could finish strong here and, 1 win at a time, get them, and see where it takes us.
Speaking on the offensive side of the football, what has been your thought process over these last couple of weeks when looking at the offense and kind of evaluating the way that they've played, let's say, for the last month?
I think it's just all about getting some continuity and some consistency. I mean, we've obviously had receivers in and out of the lineup, whether it's COVID, whether it's an injury. Certainly, Amari Cooper missed a couple of games, and he's battled the hamstring a little. Certainly, a guy like Gallup has battled. He was on the IR, DTR for 7-8 weeks, and he was out of the lineup. So there's some continuity there that you want to continue to get as you move forward. Certainly their skill set's unquestioned, but working together with Dak I think is important. And then getting the offensive line group really playing in unison and having the continuity to work together so that they've got confidence in what each other's doing, whether it's the run game, whether it's pass protection. I just think that's what we're missing right now, and I think it's certainly something that we can get together and get working. And I know if there's anybody in this building who's going to push to make that happen, it's number 4. And he's just built for action. He's the ultra competitor. He's the ultra leader. The group troops are going to follow him. I mean, I thought it was great to see Zeke and Lyle coming in there, taking up for him. Obviously, you got to be careful with those things because you don't want to have a penalty that could ultimately maybe cost you an opportunity to win a football game. But at the same time, I'm all in for players that are there to protect their leader, their quarterback, and certainly that's what they were doing. Maybe a little bit much because you don't want to get the yellow flags, but I certainly understand it.
What are your thoughts on the health of your backfield with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard? Any updates on those guys in the way that either they've played over the last couple of weeks or in Tony Pollard's case, when he could be available next?
Yeah, I think Tony's still a little bit of a question as we head to game time this week against the Giants. Certainly Zeke finished the game the other day, and he's another one who's just a super competitor. This time of year, there's a lot of players in the NFL who aren't 100%. And he's one of those guys, regardless of where he is health-wise, he wants to go out there and compete. And he'll do a great job for us and feel good that he'll be ready to go against the Giants. Certainly Clements stepped up and did a nice job for us the other day. But, not having Pollard out there, you can feel it. But when he is out there, you feel him. And certainly we hope he has an opportunity to play against the Giants.
And when we come back here on Special Edition, we'll take a deeper dive into the keys to the game of how the Cowboys can notch win number 10 on the 2021 season.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T. Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by Ford. Built for Texas, built for you. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Final segment here of Special Edition on Week 15, and the Cowboys can wrap up the NFC East with a win or a Washington loss or tie. As we welcome you back, Isaiah, Barry, Nate. Gentlemen, what are the keys to the Cowboys getting a win and potentially wrapping up the division this week, Nate?
First they got to go find Phil Jackson or either Mr. Miyagi, because they're great Zen masters, and we got to center up Dak. And we should be okay.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Take the mental side of it, Isaiah.
I'm going to go ahead and roll with the continuity. All right. We're going to go with the continuity of this offensive line. I think if we can shore things up on the offensive line and feel confident with what we're doing there in the running game, in the passing game, everything else around it gets better.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the defensive side of the ball. Keep your foot on the gas pedal. Keep making plays out there and creating takeaways. Defensively, this D-line has been playing unbelievably. The secondary has been sticky as well. Keep getting those takeaways and giving your offense, who has struggled of late, a short field to play with, and things should be okay. This
is a tradition that we haven't really been doing on Special Edition throughout the course of this season. I feel like we need to get back to doing this because in the past, it's always been asked the question to Nate Newton, who's going to win this football game coming up on Sunday? And you usually give a prediction. What's your prediction this week?
The Cowboys will win this, man. It will be a great game. They will blow them out by 1 point.
And there we go. Everybody do it with me. We are back and we are centered as a show, hopefully as an offense. Hopefully Dak Prescott and the Cowboys can figure it out against the New York Giants. It's a noon kickoff on Sunday at the Meadowlands, all the way back up in New Jersey. That's going to do it for us here on Special Edition. For Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next week here from the Star in Frisco.